An update tonight from the Milwaukee Bucks. Just into our newsroom within the last half hour, the team announcing they have officially hired Doc Rivers as their new head coach. Rivers is a longtime NBA coach. He won a title with the Boston Celtics in 2008. He most recently worked as an analyst with ESPN, and before that was the head coach for the Philadelphia 76ers. Rivers also played college basketball at Marquette back in the early 1980s, so he knows Wisconsin. He is set to be formally introduced tomorrow.